The rise of Burna Boy, from rejection to global giant. What does it take to carry an entire continent on your back? Not just represent it, not just sing about it, but to walk into rooms where Africa was ignored and force the world to listen. This is not just a music story. This is not just about fame. This is about identity, struggle, rebellion, and legacy. This is the story of Burna Boy, the African giant. Roots of greatness. Before the fame, before the sold-out arenas, before the Grammys, there was a boy in Port Harcourt. Damini Ebunoluwa Ogulu was born on July 2nd, 1991, into a family that didn't just appreciate music, they lived it. His grandfather, Benson Idonije, once managed the legendary Fela Kuti, a man who didn't just create music, but used it as a weapon against oppression. And maybe, just maybe, that fire passed down. Growing up in southern Nigeria, Burna Boy wasn't chasing fame. He was experimenting, creating, discovering sound. Using simple software like FL Studio, he began producing beats. Not perfect, not polished, but real. Later, he moved to the UK for school, studying media and culture. But something didn't feel right, because deep down, he knew. He wasn't meant to study music. He was meant to become it. So he came back to Nigeria, not with a degree, but with a vision. The first spark. Every great story has a moment where everything changes. For Burna Boy, that moment came in 2012. A song dropped, "Like to Party," and suddenly, people started paying attention. It wasn't just the beat, it wasn't just the vibe. There was something different about him. Confidence, presence, identity. Then came his debut album, L.I.F.E., an album inspired by legends like Fela Kuti and Bob Marley, blending Afrobeat, reggae, and dancehall into something uniquely his. The album didn't just succeed, it announced him. But success can be dangerous, because after the hype fades, reality hits. The fall and rebuild. Fame came fast, but stability? Not so much. Behind the scenes, things weren't working. Label issues, industry politics, creative control battles. At a time when most artists would play safe, Burna Boy did something risky. He walked away. No major backing, no guarantees, just belief. And then, he built his own. Spaceship Entertainment. That moment was bigger than people realized. Because Burna Boy wasn't just trying to be a star anymore, he was building an empire. Still, the journey wasn't smooth. There were quiet years, moments where people doubted him, moments where it seemed like the industry had moved on. But Burna Boy was watching, learning, evolving, and waiting. The comeback that changed everything. Everything changed. He released an album called Outside, and on that album was a song that would redefine his career. Yay. At first, it was just another track, but slowly something happened. People started connecting, then streaming, then singing, then screaming. Before long, Yay wasn't just a song, it was a movement. From Nigeria to the UK to the US, Burna Boy had arrived, not as a local act, but as a global force. That same year, he signed with Atlantic Records, and suddenly, the world stage opened. In 2019, Burna Boy made a statement, not with an interview, not with a tweet, but with an album. African Giant. The title alone was bold, but the music, even bolder. This wasn't just about vibes anymore. This was about history, politics, identity. Songs like Another Story didn't just entertain, they educated. He spoke about colonialism, about struggle, about truth, and the world listened. That same year, he won Best International Act at the BET Awards. Standing on that stage, he didn't just thank fans, he reminded the world, Africa has always been great. The Grammy moment. For years, African artists were overlooked on the global stage. Nominated, sometimes. Recognized, rarely. But Burna Boy kept pushing. Then came Twice as Tall, an album that carried weight, expectation, pressure. And in 2021, it paid off. He won a Grammy, Best Global Music Album. That moment wasn't just personal, it was historical. Because it proved something important. African music didn't need validation, but when it got it, it would dominate. After the Grammy, there was no slowing down, only expansion. Burna Boy wasn't just making music anymore, he was breaking barriers, selling out arenas across the world, headlining international festivals, collaborating with global stars. Then came Love, Domination, an album that showed a different side of him, more personal, more emotional, more vulnerable. And then, Last, a song born from heartbreak that turned into a global anthem. That's the thing about Burna Boy. He doesn't just create music, he creates moments, culture, power, and purpose. But beyond the fame, beyond the charts, there's something deeper. Burna Boy stands for something, Pan-Africanism, the belief that Africa is not behind, but rising. Through his music, he speaks on injustice, from colonial history to modern struggles. During the #EndSARS movement, he didn't stay silent, he used his voice. Because for him, music is not just entertainment, it's responsibility. Legacy in real time. Today, Burna Boy is not just an artist, he is a symbol, a bridge between Africa and the world, a reminder that you don't have to dilute your identity to succeed globally. You can stay authentic and still dominate. From Port Harcourt to global stages, from local recognition to international respect, he has redefined what it means to be African in the music industry. So when people ask, how did Burna Boy become so big? The answer is simple. He didn't chase the world, he brought the world to Africa. And in doing so, he became more than an artist. He became a movement. He became a voice. He became the African giant. Now maybe the real question is not, who is Burna Boy, but what comes after him?